It starts from the architecture of your school, your replication towards IIM. First time when I saw that school, I was like, am I into the IIM or what?
We are called a red brick campus, right? I wanted the more maroon tinge which is in the red brick. I wanted to project it as an international sort of look and feel from an outside perspective.
If you have seen somebody doing the backbencher stuff, do you want to guide them in such a way that, okay guys, you also need to enjoy your childhood?
I mean, some of the backbenchers in my class, they have probably done much better in every way, giving back to society. Some of them are police officers.
That PTM is something mandatory.
If you can open Book My Show and book 2 tickets for Saturday for a movie, opening and booking 2 PTM slots for Saturday is compulsory. So,
being a son of a principal, director, chairman and everything, is there any kind of pressure that you feel? Or
we come from a generation of multiple teachers, so discipline is ingrained like from their childhood.
What is your favorite subject? Is it maths or music?
No, I think music is more interesting for me, for sure.
There are parent terms. If you try to pitch them about extracurricular activities, were they interested in listening to extracurricular activities, or
so you're making us do so many activities, or you're making us do all this, but finally parents will only be concerned about math.
I wanted to have a kind of a rapid fire with you.
Oh, wow.
What if I say parents?
First teachers.
Homework?
Now I'm like, oh my god, half the kids didn't do homework.
Laurus?
Conceptual learning.
IIT?
Water cooler hostel conversations.
Last best lessons.
Super contributors to the community.
Hello everyone, welcome back. You're watching podcast series EduCircle presented to you by IHM Connect. I'm Akash, founder and CEO of India's first AI-powered and WhatsApp-integrated school success platform, IHM Connect. Today, let's try to decode education with a leader who have decoded IIT, IIM, life and still have a patience to somehow deal with school kids and their parents. Without getting delayed, let's welcome Mr. Nishanth Parlapalli, who is the Academic Director of Laurus The Universal School. Hello sir. Hi, how are you doing?
Awesome, Akash. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for joining me today, sir. It's great hosting you here. Today, I'd like to talk many things, starting from your childhood to today's life. How did you transform from being a person who you were as a school kid to a school leader is what I wanted to shoot here. I wanted to understand. It's great hosting you here. Can you tell me about your childhood, sir?
Absolutely. No, same here, Akash. Thanks so much for converting our relationship into a podcast. Me as a kid, I would say I was from an both academic and behavioral perspective. I think I was always the nice kid, good at studies, good parents thankfully to help with behavior and everything. There was of course that adolescent phase where I was quite naughty and like a lot of mom beating up like a typical family. But I would say overall I was a studious kid who was, I would say, also interested in learning. So the environment around my family and the environment, the kind of motivation they did, it really helped. It really helped in me getting through the doors of success at different stages meant different things.
I truly, I understand that completely because you have been, your journey looks quite a kind of journey which every Indian parent wants. Starting from a studious kid wherein you went into IITs, you went into IIM, and then you have secured a very, very good jobs and positions, and then finally into this particular school sector. I wanted to know what was your dad's first opinion when you said, I wanted to quit boardrooms and come into the classrooms.
Yeah, that was an interesting transition for sure, right? So I really felt after 12, 13 years of consulting work in a few organizations, I felt that
Very big organizations. The
Yeah.
big fours.
yeah, that's true. But also, I worked in a boutique consulting firm based in Europe, which is called Do Well, Do Good.
Yeah,
And
I've seen that, sir.
so that was a slight transition period from the more traditional consulting firms.
Okay.
And I think the best principle that I learned there is how can you not only do well for yourself, do well for your clients, but also do good enough to society, right? So I felt there was more of the do good factor that I had to bring out beyond the traditional consulting firm types of
What
setup.
exactly does that do, sir? The company?
It's a consulting firm, but it
Okay.
also has education and training and mentorship. But the idea is also within consulting to do work that is not impacting society in a negative way at large. So, for example, no oil and gas projects or no tobacco related projects, etc. So we were able to choose profiles, choose companies
Okay.
that help with this do well, do good transition.
Does that option also be with you or only with the company?
We can say no, it's democratic. So
Okay.
it was quite democratic from that perspective.
Okay.
I really learned a lot there, but I felt if I applied that to my own career or my own life, I felt I was at a stage where I felt there was more do good needed. So fortunately, I went to some of the good institutions in India. So wanted to see how to replicate that at a K-12 school level and how to give back from that perspective at a daily implementation sort of level. So that's really been the major transition, which is completely off compared to what most of my friends or classmates would be doing. And yeah, we are just at the beginning of the journey, so I don't know where it'll take me, but I'm quite excited at this point to be doing
I'm
this.
sure that you're gonna rock it, sir. I mean, the way that you've done it so far, and it starts from the architecture of your school, your replication towards IIM. First time when I saw that school, I was like, am I into the IIM or what? And then I was like, okay, sir is from IIM, so somewhat replica. I mean, that mindset is very, very important. So, yeah. it's
We are
much
called
better.
a red brick campus, right? So,
Yeah.
but I wanted the more maroon tinge, which is in the red brick, but it didn't happen with our architecture team. So they went for a more different shade of red. But yeah, we wanted to project it as an international sort of look and feel from an outside perspective. But at the same time, also have those Indian values, Indian systems, and we are, of course, our curriculum is still based on CBSE, right? So there are some blended programs beyond CBSE, but yeah, that's the thought process behind that.
Okay, that's cool. That's really good, sir. So I wanted to know, like, basically, you are a very studious kid, probably the one who are away from any number of last bencher activities, kind of thing, at the starting stage, at least I would say. Now, in your school, if you have seen somebody doing a backbencher stuff or doing something very studious, what do you want to say to them? Do you want to guide them in such a way that, okay guys, you also need to enjoy your childhood, or do you want to say something like, no, this is your age where you need to learn? So what is the kind of attitude that you will teach to your the kids in the school, or what is a kind of projection over there?
Very interesting. I mean, some of the backbenchers in my class have done, I mean, they have probably done much better in every way, giving back to society. Some of them are police officers, some of them are government servants, and some of them are, buying Audis and Mercs abroad. So I don't think anybody in my in that kind of setup, there's no correlation. Absolutely, it's just a coincidence. And hence, if you see, I mean, today's backbenchers are like, the reason there are backbenchers also is because something has, like, the backbencher activity is because something is not working in the class for them, right? So
Yes.
we have to, like, drill down into say, let's say, example of backbencher activity is, not listening in the class and staring out of the window, right? Like the question is, why is the student not engaged? So for me, it is a problem as to why the student is not engaged, right? So how can we improve engagement in the classroom with the class teacher and with the student, etc. And at the student level, if say all the kids are able to get engaged, and why is the particular student not engaged, then it's a question of counseling, trying to understand what is going through.
Exactly, that's true.
It requires, I think, much more dedication and understanding of each child, the kind of parent, like the kind of home environment they operate with, which is one good thing that fortunately our team does quite well, the teacher team and the principal team. They are able to also assess how the child is at home through regular feedback and interactions with the parents. So that helps also try to assess how we can help the child in the classroom. So we have to try to solve the problem at the end.
Yeah, the roots is what basically what we'll need to solve, because it's not only if somebody is not listening to someone, they are not interested towards the whatever the subject
Exactly.
or what exactly they are saying. So the root cause starts from, why is the subject not interested for him?
True.
Is it something really he is not interested into, or is it something fault from a teacher's perspective, like whether they are not able to tell the way that the student expects to be told? Because I have seen most of the students, they are quite good at studies, but they don't understand the way, they don't think that the teacher over there is able to tell him in that way, him or her in that particular way, what they are expecting. Maybe they are quite more matured, understood the subject already, or they're not even understanding and they don't even bother. So it needs to be seen in the lens of a student, and then come up with the counseling, or really if that needs to be a change for a teacher or the student. So that's what my perspective is also.
Absolutely. In fact, if I look back also, and if we all look back in our classrooms, frankly, because I was always a tall boy, I was always among the last couple of benches to sit. But I felt there were many teachers who went beyond academics, who were able to inspire, who were able to motivate.
That's true, sir. That's really true. I still remember the teachers, like one of my Telugu teacher. She's like, I've joined that school in 8th standard, and I've got a lot of inspiration from her. Frankly speaking, she's the one who pushed me from the last bench to the first bench, is what I can say. At least in that particular subject class, I was like, okay, I need to come here to listen because the way that she taught was something interesting, that drove the people to come and listen. She really used to tell the stories as stories, not as a normal lesson or something like that. So it really depends on the teachers as well, is what I 100% believe in.
True.
And I would like to know, like, if the first bencher or the last bencher is not doing perfectly well, and if they need to be what is a kind of counseling that you give to them, so that they will, do you start from the parent perspective, or the student perspective, or from the teacher perspective? In your school in specific, what is the counseling strategy that you follow?
I think, so even before counseling, firstly, what we do is we try to rotate students across benches, so that not all students are always sitting at the same place. And this I learned from a place called Ramaya Institute that I studied in 11th and 12th.
Okay.
It was a different performance-based movement of children front and back. But here we try to do it as much as possible with the kids. But the key part that you said is, like, how do you work on a child that's not improving, right? I feel first, identifying that the child is not doing well itself is a big gap in many schools.
Yes.
And what I understood is, it's not just the marks, right? Like, just looking at marks, you're not able to judge, because the topics that you covered in the previous exam were different, the topics now are different. The situation is different. Probably the question paper level and difficulty is also different. So it requires a bit of larger number of data points to understand. But what is great here, I think, is the sense of the teacher. The teacher understands.
Yes.
So the class teacher needs to work with the respective subject teachers, get constant feedback, and the teacher discussions among the subject teachers should help them understand. Okay, Nishanth, has he done better than last time? Is he able to be more active in the class? Is he more engaged? Is he able to answer the questions that the teacher is asking in the class, etc. And if that is not happening, that is when all the interventions will come in, right? So probably just a small, I mean, simple things. You don't need to call it counseling there, but simple things like a class teacher trying to understand from him. Oh, were you sick last 3 days? You didn't finish your homework. What happened? Did you go out somewhere? What happened? Or you don't seem to be as engaged. What is the reason? Did you not understand what science teacher is teaching? It's something that the class teacher can ask.
That's true.
So then she can, she takes feedback, and then interventions are at different levels, right? So, for example, if it's a particular topic or a particular teacher is not somehow as engaged, then it comes through the loop of principal and trying to work with the teacher to say, wow, probably you're teaching well, but these particular set of 8-10 students are not able to understand, right? So how can you get to that level to make them understand? Or if it is something that's going on at home in terms of homework, talking with the parent and trying to understand. One or two things that I learned from other schools, like when I went to Sangamitra school in Nizampet, I found it to be really good. And I found the PTM attendance to be very high, like around above 80%. And I was like, okay, that means we have to get all our parents, because my PTM attendance 2 years back was like 50-60%. So then we said, no, parent teacher meeting is compulsory. That is when not only we will be able to tell you what we think about the child, but we will also be able to understand from the parent how it is. So we said,
how did IHM help you over there, sir?
No, thanks to you guys for helping out with the number one reason why parents probably avoid PTMs. Like they have a clash with their office work or clash with something else. So instead of us giving slots to parents, where we said, okay, Akash, you are a parent of a PP child and a grade 3 child, and I'll give you the PP time as 4 p.m. or whatever, say 2 p.m. and the grade 3 child as 9 a.m. So you can't like do both the slots. So we said, why don't we give that to the parent? A bit of flexibility. And then we also, of course, worked on ensuring that parents compulsory come for PTM. So we were able to hit over 85-90%.
That's truly, it's very, very important factor, sir. I've seen most of the school leaders, as part of my knowledge, whatever schools I have worked with, they don't concentrate on it very much. But after I saw you driving that particular thing, that PTM is something mandatory, I need something on this particular aspect, Akash, is what you've asked, right? I felt like it was a real problem.
True.
Everybody needs to understand why is that particular child not able to understand or was able to understand it better from the parents' perspective also. And only then our teaching methodologies and everything can change accordingly is what, truly what you've said, your dedication towards PTM in specific was something very fantastic, and that technology, whatever that we have developed, if that is helping you, then that's absolutely wonderful.
Exactly. Yeah. If you can open Book My Show and book 2 tickets for Saturday for a movie,
that would be quite easy. Exactly.
So opening and booking 2 PTM slots for Saturday is compulsory. So that's the way we look at it. But thanks to parents, of course, for supporting.
One thing that I've observed in the schools basically is every student is seen in a similar way, and every student was taught in a similar way. How important is personalized learning experience for a student? Because every student will not understand the same subject in the same way.
Exactly.
So, what is a kind of transformation that the school need to bring so that the kid understands whatever is the subject in a proper way? What is a personalized learning? How important is personalized learning experience in particularly school stage?
No, it's very important. Actually, you hit it right. And unfortunately, like any school setup that is I mean, all school setups are 1:X, right? X
Yes.
is 15, 20, 25, 40.
Yeah.
There's one teacher to so many children. So in that kind of a setup, it's always very difficult to do more personalized learning, right? So by design, the learning in our current schools is not personalized because there is a set framework and there's a set curriculum that we are all following. So the key to personalization actually has to happen through the approach and method that the teacher is using.
Yes.
So that's why we have, we talk about different kinds of learners, right? Some learners who learn better visually. So there is a projector element. So you watch a video for 10 minutes. There are some learners who write and then understand and think better.
Yes.
There are some learners who are more activity based. So you have to do a bit more activity in the classroom. So while each element of your teaching is not going to all the 25 children, there are different parts of learning that is going to each child. And that's how you have to cover the personalized requirement of that child. And that's why I feel that the student-teacher ratio becomes an important part, right?
That's true. That's true.
If you have a large number of children in the class,
there are schools which which has 100 students, 1:100 kind of a ratio. I feel like sick. What is happening? Obviously, in that kind of classrooms, you can expect the backbenchers to do whatever the n number of activities. They can peep into the windows, they can go down the benches, they can eat something, they can do everything because one teacher cannot absolutely manage 100 people.
True, that's true. And that's why you need, the approach to education, that's why in the classroom needs to change. It still needs to change. We are all across schools. I've visited multiple schools. I feel there is a lot more to do there because frankly the way curriculum or books and publications are coming up, it's quite good. So the one-time thinking that we are doing, the setup that we are doing in terms of getting all the activity pieces there, all the practice exercise problems there, all the I can think, I can do myself sort of stuff where you're putting the onus on the child. So it's all there. Now, while implementing that particular thing in the classroom, that's where the teacher has to make the difference. But having said that, like I said at the beginning, in a typical classroom, personalization, it's very difficult to do it. Now with the advent of AI, there's so much new things that are happening, right? Probably AI based self-learning would be the
I have brought it up to you. If you remember that Lali that we have developed,
we are doing something
at low effort. The major element to bring up that particular thing is probably to ensure like each student learns things on their own way based on whatever the previous experiences that they have, the academic career, non-academic career, and so on and so forth. I absolutely think that technology can help in making the personalized learning experience, but it's the teacher or the school who owns the student completely. I still believe like anything that kid is able to do is only because of the school. If I'm saying like I can be blunt on the camera and say if I'm doing this in this particular age of my stage of my career, it's all because of my teachers.
Very nice.
And obviously with the parents' help and the ethics and the things that we have learned from different people, but school plays a very, very key role is what I truly believe. So you being a son of a principal, director, chairman and everything, like how does that be to you? Like your father is into the education sector, he is a very good school leader, and being a son of him, is there any kind of pressure that you feel or
Yeah, not only my father, I come from a family of teachers and headmasters. So my grandfather was a Telugu teacher. Literally most of my extended family or grandparents parent extended families are all Telugu Pandits, Sanskrit Pandits. So we come from a generation of multiple teachers. So discipline is ingrained like from the childhood, and that helps us now, right? It's very difficult to form habits in your 30s, the habits that you can form when you are in school and when you are teenagers. So no, discipline is one thing that definitely has come, but my dad is not a very strict academician, so he was always a live and let live kind of a person. He still is, so thankfully. So yeah, so I got the best of trying to carve my own learning ways, my own interests with him. But I mean, again, now we are like operating like co-founders now of the same school, so now it's a bit of a different dynamic. But he gives a lot of space, and we are trying to work with each other to build legacy and build an institution and the brand that he has developed for a long time. So yeah, so I think it's good. So I don't think there's any kind of pressure or any kind of issues around that. But what I definitely feel is you can only learn from experience and build on it. I can never have the kind of perseverance and determination and resilience he has had over the last 30 years to build and work with every student and every parent. So that's very inspiring. And let's see. I think it should be an interesting journey going forward.
We hope and we do our best as a partner in technicality. Whatever that we can, we will absolutely love to do that, sir. And I'd like to now ask you, what is your favorite subject? Is it maths or music? Because I know that you're good at, I mean, your interest towards music. I've seen your Instagram profile, your SoundCloud, and everything. I was let I make sir to sing today.
Oh my god, okay, wow. It's great that you did I didn't even know I had a SoundCloud account. It was way back. Yeah. No, I think music is more interesting for me, for sure, between math and music.
Very good to know about that.
I felt because that gives solace, that gives peace at different stages. Probably when you had asked me when I was growing up, I would have always said math. Now no more. I haven't been doing math for a long time, except now I have to teach it again. I'm teaching math now for high school students.
Okay.
Yeah, math is also interesting for sure. Yeah, but. Music also, and that's a very important part of learning, right? So what I felt when I was growing up was what my parents chose were sort of two things to get deeper on beyond coming back from school at 3:10 p.m. One is Carnatic music. So I was introduced to Carnatic music at a young age.
Nice.
So I learned Carnatic for about 5 years. And then because I was getting to grade 8 or grade 9, my mom was like, no, you have to focus on studies. So though my dad wanted to persist. So I then had to stop for those 3 years. But then after going back to college in Bombay, I had more free time. But I never pursued Carnatic, but the music interest was always there.
I thought of bringing a guitar. I learned it long back, and I thought like, okay, let's do this. But I was like, okay, I'm very bad now. I don't exactly remember. It's been 4-5 years now.
Oh my god,
so
yeah.
I thought, okay.
Same here, like my voice changed around that grade 8, grade 9 time because our voice changes, and hence I tried. So my wife is a Kuchipudi dancer. She's a professional Kuchipudi dancer.
Even my wife.
Oh wow, awesome. So we share that. So we have more artsy and more cultural events at home, and hence I got back to music slightly. I started getting trained again last couple of years.
Okay.
So yeah, just trying to learn it again, relearn what I learned way back. Yeah, but I think I was going to say that so one was Carnatic and second was 1 hour or 1.5 hour of play time every day. So at that time, of course, I never went to any academies or anything like that, but we had, of course, our gully cricket and gully football and badminton between the gate, right? So gate is the net and then you play badminton from one side to another. Just that, So just going deeper on couple of, co-curricular or sort of extracurriculars there. That also puts you up. Like I think music, I feel helped in math also in many ways, like all the permutations and combinations and all that. So Yeah, so that's something that gives that holistic education. We call it holistic education. Now we were not aware at that time that
Now
I
it
was
is
getting holistic
very popular,
education.
and people were like, okay, as part of NEP 2020, you need to give a holistic report cards and so on and so forth. It was, I mean, even in our company, we were like, this came in as a something new for people. I mean,
Yeah.
though it was existing from long back, every school want to implement it. Okay, I wanted to have a holistic report card. I wanted to assess people on so and so things and so on. So forth. But yeah, it is a very good initiative even by the government, and assessing people on every front is very important. Is what I believe.
But I also feel that schools are, including us, schools are not doing enough to share that assessment with the parents enough.
Exactly.
Right? So in the PTM time, in the 15 minutes or 10 minutes allocated to you, you have to be able to explain as a teacher, not only the fact that, this is how you have, developed on these parameters in terms of the subjects like math, science. You have to be also able to say, okay, on communication skills, how they are now, or on some of the extracurricular activity on taekwondo, what level you have reached, or in sports, are you able to kick a football, are you at what stage, it's still not come into that form of conversation. I feel even when I talk to my co-principals and co-leaders, and that has to come in. But it's a good change that at least the report card states all the different grades and assessments of the different curricular activities.
So, I mean, in PTMs in specific, like when a parent comes, if you try to pitch them about, extracurricular activities, were they interested in listening to extracurricular activities, or are they very much into academics? I want my kid to be a doctor, engineer, or something like that.
Every parent is different, right? So their wants and needs, and what they get out of schools
and
are also
nowadays
different.
It's changing also.
It's changing for sure. So many parents are interested to know for sure about what their kid is, beyond the classroom. So in the classroom, they get a good view. The regular diary and updates and all, they get a good view. Beyond the classroom, in terms of behavior, they're very keen to understand. They're keen to understand in sports and different activities, how they are performing. And but there is always the complaint from teachers that, so you're making us do so many activities, or you're making us do all this, but finally parent will only be concerned about marks.
Exactly.
So
that's what the question came up from. I mean, like, is it truly, like, I can say at least 40% of the parents, if they are interested, then it's must and sure. Like, people need to do it even for that 30-40% of the parents.
I feel, in our schools, probably the number is even higher. Almost 70% will be interested when you share a more holistic scorecard. And that change still has to come. Like, you have to counsel, and we try to talk to the parents even beyond PTMs, right? So they have access to all of us. So we try to counsel them, and more needs to be done, even from school side, even from our side, to get them to understand what levels are there. Even there, we need some levels, right? So football, are you at level 1 or level 2 or level 3? What are you aspiring for? That's also, that curriculum also is, we are still in the process, but I think every school is at a different stage of the journey with respect to that.
So with this note, how do you select your teachers? I mean, they are the key people who brings good or bad for your school. I mean, whether it may be something, you may become popular because of one teacher, whoever is there, or you may also lose all your staff just because students, just because one teacher is not good. So how careful will you be while hiring a particular teacher for a subject, or maybe a principal or whoever it is?
Oh no, so teacher is the main person that is delivering whatever our vision, the ideology of the school, right? So when I joined the school full time couple of years back, I felt I try to track the time spent by the child, right? So if you look at the time spent by the child, so there is the bus travel, that is in the beginning and in the end. And then 80% of the time the child is in the classroom when he's in school, and about 20% of the time he's either in the sports area or the different labs, etc. So I felt if I have to make a change and if I have to upgrade and improve, I have to focus on that 80%, which is the delivery by the teacher, right? So what they are teaching in class is something I have control and I have common control. So that is my curriculum, right? So I have tried to balance the curriculum by a 60-20-20 sort of a ratio, where 60% is mostly the traditional core academic subjects like English, math, EVS, etc. And the 20% are co-curriculars that are layered on top of the traditional academics. They are still academics, but it's in the form of, say, a STEM program where it's a combination of science,
Olympiad,
math, computers, etc. Or it's pure focus on phonics classes or storytelling classes, which is still communication and English.
Yes.
And the last 20% being all extracurriculars like sports, etc. And then selecting the right sort of program for each of them. So if I need a STEM program, where should I go? If I need a sports program, where should I go? If I want to develop logical abilities, then is there a program for it, etc. So that's something I worked, and I think, and that's the base immaterial of whichever the teacher, the curriculum should be able to hold by itself, right? And the second is, as you said, it's the teacher. So and the teacher should be able to teach in a way that we want the children to be engaged, the children to be learned, etc. So one of our pillars is conceptual learning. So we want to focus on the child, where the child's concepts are good in the first place. So even sometimes at the cost of reducing the syllabus here and there, because it's too voluminous sometimes, the syllabus, right? So the teacher has to understand that that is the level at which teachers need to teach, right? So I mean, teacher selection is a very hard job. Roughly 1 out of 10 teachers that apply get selected at our school. It could vary between schools, but I think the number one quality to look for in a teacher is, are you passionate about your job? Because
that's true.
It's not about, like, I see, it's a very hard job. It's a hard job, right?
Very hard.
And the teacher salaries are not high, like not only in our school, but any school, the teacher doesn't get paid enough, right? So how do you have the motivation and interest to teach for long hours in a day to a large set of students? Like taking care of 2 students at home is so tough. Taking care of probably 50-100 children across classes and sections is a tough job. So passion is the number one criteria. And then come criteria like subject knowledge, communication skills, and sometimes subject knowledge for primary you can train, but if your communication is good, if you're interested to learn, why not?
That's okay. I mean, they can learn even after joining the thing.
True. So I think those are the kind of criteria that we look for. And I think the interest and passion, if it's there, mostly I'm seeing that the teacher is able to succeed through our kind of training internally and the kind of environment we create. They will succeed. That has been my observation. I don't think we are getting ready-made good teachers. We are probably missing out on.
That's true. I mean, every school also differs from the way that they want the teacher to be taught.
True.
Everybody have their own ideologies. So if they are passionate enough to learn the things and communicate it in a better way, that itself solves a bigger problem.
True.
And if they have the subject knowledge expertise, then it's like they can teach it in any way that we want.
Exactly. Yeah.
The teaching methodologies, I've been going through some different institutions following Bloom's taxonomy, pedagogy system. What exactly do you follow, and why exactly do you prefer that to be followed?
Oh, we don't have, like, it's not a standard or common answer. Bloom's taxonomy is something that is definitely needed, more from an assessment standpoint. So where we have sort of centralized most of the assessment now. So previously the teacher would teach, the teacher would give the question paper, and teacher would only correct the answer sheet, right? So we thought if we can remove the teacher question preparation, though of course at different schools, different people intervene in terms of HODs viewing questions. We said we'll remove the teacher making the questions to making the question paper more centralized. And that assessment we do using Bloom's taxonomy, which is you want to have about 40% of questions that are at the base, which is remembering and understanding. So did you at least understand what the teacher taught, and have you gone back and practiced a bit, just basics like do you remember profit is equal to selling price minus cost price, for example. The second layer of that is application, right? So can you apply what you have learned in the class or while answering those questions or solving those problems? So for example, recently there was a grade 4 admission assessment child, and one of the questions was there are 3 jars and there are 4 pencils in each jar. So what is the total number of pencils? And he was not able to answer. But when you said, when I asked, can you tell me the table of 4?
Then
he's like 4 1s are 4 2s are 4 3s. So understanding, knowing multiplication 4 into 3 is 12.
Application of what we have learned is something very much needed.
True.
I mean, I truly understood it when I was doing my job at Accenture. I was like, I mean, in my first job itself, I have thought like, okay, I always used to think, why does this particular subject be taught? Like, is it really needed? Why is economics needed? Why is chemistry needed? Why is physics needed? Why is many other things? But it comes up with particular strategies, and you don't know exactly when, what problem, I mean, what kind of things that you have learned can be applied at particular stage, because applying the things is the key of learning. It's not like learning the things and by harding the things or so on and so forth, but applying the things is something that is truly important for any kid, and then it says the things.
True. And then beyond application, you have analysis, like recognizing patterns, understanding how you can take, and that's one notch higher, more difficult, right? Yes. And the highest of it, which is the most difficult, is actually critical thinking, creativity, right?
Yes.
For example,
how can you do it differently?
Exactly. So we did a reading program in school recently where each student had to read one book. And then for the middle graders and higher graders, 2 questions were asked. One is, of course, can you write a short review of the book, including the characters and the plot, which is testing the lower order thinking skills. And the other question was, if you had to change the story or one part of the story, how would you change it? So that's critical thinking, or you're trying to produce or create something. That's higher order thinking skills. So that's how Bloom's taxonomy is used in our school in terms of assessments. In terms of the regular classroom teaching methodology, it is a combination, I would say, of activity-based learning. So you start off with an activity, trying to get students to be curious about a topic, like before even the topic starts, using some real-world examples to help the child understand why you need to be studying that, and then getting their focus and attention over the next few periods to actually learn it. And then you try to also do one more activity once you have learnt the concept, so that you are able to apply whatever you have learnt. And then comes a bit of problems practice or writing notes and all that, and then there's always a topic and test at the end of every cycle, so that for that topic we cover pretty much what you have to learn. So that's the sort of methodology in the class that we use.
Understood. Laurus Universal ki, Laurus Excellence ki. Laurus Excellence more like a traditional approach which your father has set up, and Laurus Universal meer set up chesaru. So like, what is a kind of change? I mean, I absolutely know that there's a lot of streamlining things that you've learned from we as a corporate, from different institutions and how they do it and so on and so forth. But somehow నాకెందుకో ఎప్పుడు అనిపిస్తుంది, our fathers were more successful, not even thinking about streamlining the process and doing all the stuff. They were very, very successful. How come అంటే మనని ఎందుకు ఇలా ట్రైన్ చేస్తారు? ఇస్ ఇట్ అ ట్రూ కేస్ ఆర్ సంథింగ్ ఐ మీన్ టు మేక్ ష్యూర్ లైక్ పీపుల్ ఆర్, ఐ మీన్ వాట్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ఇస్ యువర్ థాట్ ప్రాసెస్?
అంటే కొంచెం there is a bit of inherent discipline in slightly elder people, which is not there in our generation అనిపిస్తుంది at least. And then of course process systems, మన corporate has taught us that everything needs to be on paper. We have to work, there has to be an agreement, understanding, clarity అదంతా. కొంచెం if you take more traditional approaches, they were more by understanding. You understand that this is the rule, you understand that you have to step up here, etc. But systems were still there.
Risk taking అయితే చాలా ఎబిలిటీ వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఉన్నంత risk taking ability probably we of this generation might not have another kind of and the discipline as well, as you have said, like they're very committed. 8 o'clock ki school lo undali ante 8 o'clock pinpoint, they're not going to miss that. Even I sometimes like when my father comes to me, he was like 9 అవుతుంది ఆఫీస్కి వెళ్ళలేదా, 1 minute లేట్ అయిందంటే why are you still sitting? I mean what exactly? So I always feel like it is very important to be very disciplined, and that is what something truly builds the success is what I believe.
Correct. No, consulting and the way it is used in both the campuses adigar kada, so that also is a ఇప్పుడు చేసేది ఇట్స్ హైలీ హెవీలీ ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ బేస్డ్ కదా. వన్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ డన్ ద సెటప్, ఇట్స్ అబౌట్ వర్కింగ్ ఆన్ ద గ్రౌండ్ విత్ ద టీచర్, వర్కింగ్ ఆన్ ద గ్రౌండ్ విత్ ద ట్రాన్స్పోర్టేషన్ టీమ్, విచ్ ఇస్ డిఫరెంట్. ఈవెన్ నేను కన్సల్టింగ్ చేసినప్పుడు కూడా I wanted to get that operations flavor. So I used to pick and choose those projects that were slightly longer term also. Anduke a 2-3 month diagnostic tarvata we were, at least it's not full implementation in the sense ownership manad kaadu, ownership is still the clients. But I wanted to understand akkada problem solving is slightly different kada. There's 3 functions and each function has to have that incentive to move the initiative forward. It's different kind of problem solving. Alage ikkada స్కూల్లో కూడా ఫైనలీ ఎట్ ద టాప్ యూ ఆర్ జస్ట్ ఐదర్ టేకింగ్ సమ్ డెసిషన్స్ or trying to solve some problem between stakeholders, trying to solve issues. So it is definitely being used. Kani heavily operations environment kada, heavy operations environment, because there's a schedule you have to follow in the school. So I am also conscious of what I am not an expert at, and what I cannot be doing fully well just because I am there and I am trying to do all the things. So hiring the right person for the right job
is also very important.
So operations kosam we got an ex-serviceman, because they are that kind of discipline.
I've met him.
So that kind of
he was
discipline.
very particular about the things. So I've met him, and at the first glance itself I came to know like okay, sir introduce చేసుకునేటప్పుడే he was an ex-serviceman, so like I was like okay, I mean sir చాలా బాగా చూస్ చేశారు ఆపరేషన్స్ కి అని.
లేకుంటే మనం like I don't think I am that heavily disciplined also with respect to time and with respect to a lot of factors. So అది మనం సిస్టమ్ లో ఇన్కల్కేట్ చేయాలంటే what we don't know అనేది we have to hire the right person to deliver that.
True, sir. That is true.
That's the thought process.
And now you have been into corporate and you have been into this particular leadership journey. How do you differentiate both is my first question. And secondly, nowadays every kid, when I was back then, I mean we were forced to do the corporate stuff. We were forced to get into the corporates and so on and so forth. But nowadays people were like matured enough to they're still okay to make the kid go into an entrepreneurial journey. Risk-taking capabilities and everything are increasing. So how do you inculcate those kind of attitudes into the students' behavior? I mean, me school level nunchi entrepreneurial journey ki, how are you making sure that they build up those abilities?
Frankly, I think ఇంకా అంత స్పెసిఫిక్గా అయితే ఆంటర్ప్రినర్షిప్ రిలేటెడ్ మనం చేయట్లేదు. బట్ ఇట్ ఇస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ త్రూ ఎ కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద pillars on which our curriculum is based kada. So
Can you
like,
explain those pillars, sir? I mean,
okay,
what exactly?
so like mostly our methodology and curriculum is based on conceptual learning for kids. So we want to ensure that the foundation is strong, like I was saying earlier also. Second is heavy focus is there on communication skills. So teacher బాగా కమ్యూనికేట్ చేయాలి, స్టూడెంట్ బాగా కమ్యూనికేట్ చేయాలి, టీచర్ నుంచే నేర్చుకుంటారు కదా, ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ అలా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి కమ్యూనికేషన్లో. అండ్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ జస్ట్ స్పీకింగ్ ఆల్సో, లైక్ పాజింగ్ ఎట్ ద రైట్ ప్లేస్.
ఐ మీన్ ఐ రీసెంట్లీ రిమెంబర్, నేను ఒక లింక్డ్ఇన్ పోస్ట్ చేశాను రీసెంట్గా, వేరిన్ ఐ వాజ్ లైక్, what is the one skill that you think gonna pay you more in 2030? I gave options like technical ability or communication ability. I was shocked, like 80% of the people choose communication ability, and I believe that it's gonna be something like that, because
Absolutely.
technical abilities, AI or any kind of machine are replacing these kind of things.
అవును,
100% technical ability kavali with a touch of communication skills.
True.
And only then people gonna learn the things
true,
correctly.
exactly. And the third one is thinking and logical ability, like making them think more in the class, that is not making it being passive. And the cognitive aspects. So fourth one is more social, emotional, physical, all the sports, interactions. Emotionally, are you strong? Are you, how are you as an introvert, extrovert? All that will come in. So మన థాట్ ప్రాసెస్ ఏంటంటే, ఈ రకంగా చిల్డ్రన్కి ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు ప్రొవైడ్ into our curriculum, if we are fine tuning our teachers towards that, and if we are able to implementation is the most difficult thing, like I said. And frankly, I think we are still at 80 or 85% implementation of some of this. చేస్తే డెఫినెట్లీ అప్పుడు, అంటే మన ఐడియా ఏంటంటే, entrepreneurship is nothing but in some ways doing what you are not forced to do, right? Having some creativity on your own. Bloom's taxonomy అనుకున్నట్టు highest level of thinking ఉంది, and then building on it. Not having the courage to build on it is a bit of social emotional skill that you have to build. Getting that confidence, getting that thinking is also a combination of all the things that you have gone through. So మనం ఎంత ఇవన్నీ ఎడ్యుకేట్ చేసినా, there is the risk taking ability part of entrepreneurship.
That comes from I mean parents or whoever is I mean it completely is driven by the adrenal rush that student
has, and that person. Frankly, I think I have not been a very highly risk taking person. I am a very risk averse person. అందుకే కన్సల్టింగ్ చూస్ చేసుకున్నాను, which is the safest of all the post B school jobs. My dad is such a courageous person, so he has set up, at least this is the fourth school that he has set up, right? So it also has to come from within, right?
Yes,
so it has to come from
true.
within. But you have to give the child the confidence that they can do it.
Build up the things.
Yeah, they
yes,
can
that
do
is
it.
true. As you have rightly said, emotional barrage చాలా మంది స్టూడెంట్స్ కి they emotionally are not very much strong nowadays. I feel like because of I mean I'm not sure how much contribution of that is because of the phone, but mobile phones use చేయడం వల్ల, ఇలాంటివి చేయడం వల్ల చాలా మట్టుకి ఎమోషనల్లీ వీక్ అయిపోతున్నారు అని నేను విన్నాను. ఇస్ దట్ ట్రూ? అండ్ హౌ డు యూ హ్యాండిల్ దోస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ కేసెస్?
ఓ నో, సో మనం ఇప్పుడు పేరెంట్స్తో మాట్లాడినా కానీ పోస్ట్ లైక్ వన్స్ దే గో హోమ్, what is the number one problem parents are facing at home ante it's screen time, right? So there is no doubt that screen time is going to continue. Ante screen time ni regulate cheyali. How much of it is something that each of us needs to ask and understand and calibrate that. But the other way to look at it is also, how can we use that screen time in the right way? So for example, వన్ థింగ్ ఏమవుతుంది, మనము ఏదో నోట్స్ ఏదో ఇస్తున్నాము స్క్రీన్ మీద అంటే ఓకే అకాడమిక్ వర్క్ అని చెప్పి యూ స్టార్ట్ విత్ దట్. నోట్స్ రాయడం 15 minutes 20 minutes ఉంటుంది, బట్ దెన్ యూ ఆర్ ప్లేయింగ్ ఎ గేమ్ ఆర్ యూర్ డూయింగ్ అదర్ థింగ్స్ ఆన్ ఇట్. సో we cannot avoid technology kada, we cannot avoid the smartphone or we cannot avoid the tab and laptop. So having some kind of regulation at home around it should help. But second also, increasingly ఇప్పుడు మనం చూసుకుంటే we also talked about personalization కదా. So So if you want to personalize education, it has to be through a device, right? And the more engaged that happens, so student also will know I can use it for so many ways, right? So I can use this for the right ways and try to minimize the kind of negative impact that comes with it. And linking it to the emotional part, what I understood is, again, it depends on the love and care that the child is getting కదా, affection that the child is getting. అందుకే టీచర్స్ ని మనం టీచర్స్ ఆర్ ద సెకండ్ మదర్స్ అంటాం కదా. సో దే టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ సమ్ సో మచ్ ఆఫ్ బియాండ్ అకాడమిక్ స్టఫ్ దట్ నాట్ ఓన్లీ టీచర్స్ అట్ లారస్ బట్ మెనీ టీచర్స్ ఆర్ టేకింగ్ కేర్ ఆఫ్. అండ్ అక్కడ అందుకే యూ హ్యావ్ టు డెవలప్ దట్ బాండ్ విత్ ద చైల్డ్. ఎవ్రీ చైల్డ్, మనం టీచర్స్ డే అప్పుడు ఒక యాక్టివిటీ చేసాం కదా, tell me about your favorite teacher and activity cheste, so many good words and things that teacher also is not aware will come out of the child. So adi kuda bayitiki vastha anamata. So మనం చెప్తుంటాం, బట్ స్టూడెంట్ ఎలా పర్సీవ్ చేసుకుంటాడు అనేది ఇట్స్ అ వెరీ యూనిక్ అండ్ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ థింగ్. అక్కడ ఐ ఫీల్ ఇట్స్ అఫ్ కోర్స్ కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద పేరెంట్, టీచర్ అండ్ ద స్టూడెంట్ రిలేషన్షిప్ త్రూ విచ్ ఎమోషన్స్ విల్ గెట్ బెటర్. అండ్ ద మోర్ disengaged the child is both in the class and at home, the more emotionally weak they become, because device they are being dependent on something for validation kada, either validation or to be engaged. Ala they are trying to depend.
Now I'd like you to brag about us. We'll never stop you. I mean, whatever that you wanted to say.
Oh no, so firstly I think what the connection between us also started with the fact that I felt both me and my journey at Laurus and the journey of IHM Connect was a bit in the evolutionary stage kada. Initial stages laga we were able to brainstorm and solve on some problems together, build on some things together. So yeah, I mean, when you and Aditya came up with ideas around IHM Connect, some of the problems that you have identified by talking to school leaders and solved, that is really good, because నేను విజిట్ చేశాను స్కూల్స్ and then I'm implementing, but my main focus is on my school kada. So when people like you at IHM Connect come up with various kinds of problems that you have experienced with other schools, and then provided solutions, and then want to give that solution to me, I'm like, oh yeah, this problem also exists. Right. True. So oh, this is how we can use it to get this part better. You know, there are blind spots for every leader, for every school kada. So that was how I realized that, you know, manam chesna WhatsApp bot which really worked, right? Like asking any question to the bot and helping the parents navigate, you know, do you require an admission, or do you want your child's attendance, or do you want your child's marks card, or do you want to know the fees? There's so many questions that parents ask, and not always the front office person or the counselor is available kada.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, that really worked. I think the initiative that we started, like, which probably the problem came from us, manam anukunnattu PTM slot booking laga. So giving the parents some time and opportunity to book their time. Many parents appreciated that. They were like, wow, this is something unique. This saves us time, so we will come annattu kuda. They came, right? So that's something great that you guys did. And also ippudu you're coming up with so many new initiatives, right? Like the Lali that you mentioned, and it's still, I think, it's still evolving, but there is so much to do in that space.
Yes, that's true.
నాకు తెలిసి ఈ మోస్ట్లీ రన్ ఆఫ్ ద మిల్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ని ఇండివిజువల్ లెవెల్లో పర్సనలైజ్ చేయడానికి దట్ విల్ బి ద నంబర్ వన్ యూజ్ ఆఫ్ ఏఐ గోయింగ్ ఫార్వర్డ్. అండ్ వీఆర్ ఆల్రెడీ ట్రయింగ్ టు sort of do couple of things based on, you know, our last interaction kada. So ఒక build with AI workshop చేసాం స్కూల్లో. సో వేర్ ఐ గాట్ మై ఫ్రెండ్ హూ ఇస్ అ సీనియర్ AI scientist, ex-Amazon, etc. Very good companies that he worked with. He is passionate about education, and he is working with a lot of children on education. So he came to the school, he took our high school students, sat in the computer lab, and then started building simple AI based using AI simple I mean it's the end product is good, but it's simple games like Angry Birds game or crick scoring game or guess the footballer kind of game. So very fun things that students want to do, and all in just half an hour, 1 hour.
So exactly.
So మనం ఎంత children ని expose చేస్తే అంత they'll benefit out of such exercises. So thanks so much to you guys at IHM Connect. And not only that, I feel the best advantage I have is the founder to founder connect. So we know that we are both working on solving problems in the education space in their different levels, right? So that always helps.
Sure. Yeah, that's really kind about you, sir. I mean, good to know good to hear that such a good words from your side. And I wanted to next ask you, like, is it true, like, IIT, I mean, IIT gives you sleepless nights and IIM teaches you how to sleep less? Is that true phase, or what exactly is that?
Oh, that's interesting. I have not heard it like that before. Yeah, IIT lo getting into these is difficult.
Getting into IIT is actually difficult. Sleepless nights, spending sleepless nights.
But once you get in, it's a lot of fun. The hostel culture, kanivandi, the peer group that you interact with, the kind of professors also that you interact with, they're all accomplished experts, etc. But somehow classroom teaching low, understanding low, there is that gap. So such great subject knowledge, but I feel instructional skills wise some of them were really good. We were able to sit through even without attendance restrictions, but majority of them you have to really know a lot to understand. But I think the peer group, the nature of conversations that you have, the different cultures, that's also the growing phase kada, like 17 to 21 years of age group. So I love that kind of journey. And first time getting out of the house, being an individual. So and even when you see the way curriculum is structured there, ఎన్ని క్రెడిట్స్ చేయాలి, ఏ కోర్సెస్ చేయాలి, ఒక కోర్సులో ఎలా అసైన్మెంట్స్కి ఎంత ఇవ్వాలి, ఎంటమ్కి ఎంత ఇవ్వాలి, how it has to be structured so that you're learning continuously and how it's linked to each other, all that is something to learn at IIT. Whereas IIM lo it was quite hard and quite difficult. So I mean, in the sense of there's so much volume of work you have to do in IIM.
Yes, I've seen that.
So and IIMA is case study based, so you have to not only understand and read the concept and understand, but you also have to read the case, try to solve it with your group, with your study group and stuff, and then come prepared to class. So that's challenging. There's a lot of sleepless nights there for sure. అందుకే మమ్మల్ని PGP1 survivor and ఒక షర్ట్ ఉంటుంది. At the end of first year you are given that shirt saying, oh wow, if you have survived PGP1 then you have survived everything. But frankly, when we were doing that, I felt the harder thing to do than PGP1 was Ramaya Institute to get into IIT, right? That is also PGP1 survivor in many ways. So getting up at 3:30 a.m. I was in the morning batch in Ramaya Institute. So 4:30 classes start అయ్యేవన్నమాట మాకు నల్లకుంటలో. So 4:30 to 8 or 4:30 to 10 was the timings, first year and second year. So 3:30 I had to wake up and 4 o'clock for 2 years.
How was you able to do that, sir?
Oh, literally 200 students every year were doing it at that time. I think,
I mean, my next question is also something related to this. If somebody want to be an academic director or a school leader nowadays, what is one superpower that they'll need to inculcate so that వాళ్ళకు మంచి అకాడమిక్ డైరెక్టర్ అవ్వగలుగుతారు, అదర్ దాన్ హ్యావింగ్ 10 కాఫీస్ అ డే?
No, so school leader probably is a way to మనం చూసుకోవచ్చు. I think every teacher is also a school leader, right? Teacher is one job. నేను అదే అంటే కంపేర్ టు కార్పొరేట్ మనం చూస్తే కూడా, if you have like a span of 5, so 5 people are reporting to you అంటే you are mostly needed to review or monitor them on a day-to-day or sometimes hour-to-hour basis కదా. Because but ఇక్కడ టీచర్లో ద జాబ్లో గ్రేట్నెస్ ఏంటంటే once she has entered the classroom, that's her world, right?
Yes.
So she's the leader, she's the director, she's the owner, right? So that's why teachers enjoy their job, even though it's a hard job, but they enjoy their job, and that gives us fulfillment. Even like I teach, so that gives us fulfillment, that joy of helping the kid learn అనేది మనకు చాలా ఫుల్ఫిల్మెంట్ ఇస్తుంది అనమాట. సో ఐ ఫీల్ ఆల్ టీచర్స్ ఆర్ స్కూల్ లీడర్స్, రైట్? నౌ ద వే టు థింక్ అబౌట్ ఫ్రమ్ ఏ క్లాస్ లీడర్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ టీచింగ్ 3-4 సెక్షన్స్ నుంచి మనం ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు గెట్ బెటర్, I say there are 2-3 aspects, right? Okati, as a teacher, you have to be able to, be able to inspire. చెప్తాం కదా, సో a good teacher teaches, but the best teacher will inspire you.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So going beyond the textbook, trying to understand the children and all that. And the second part is trying to navigate through the complexities of different subjects. Once you become one level up, like say an academic coordinator, or 2 levels up, like a vice principal, etc. So then it's about understanding the complexities of different subjects, the cross section of class teachers and subjects, and students.
I mean, I have also heard like there's a lot of politics in between these guys as well. I mean, I mean, obviously, prati industry lo untayi, prati industry lo they have their own things. But here, school is a type of industry that I've seen like which is very, very streamlined. Okay. Principal చెప్పారా, then the vice principal need to hear and listen, and the vice principal చెప్పారా, I mean the HODs or whoever is the staff, they'll need to, and they will also for a good cause. అదే ఇప్పుడు మన కార్పొరేట్ లైఫ్లోకి వస్తే దట్స్ కంప్లీట్లీ మెస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అ థింగ్. ఐ మీన్ ఐ హావ్ సీన్ లైక్ మెనీ ప్లేసెస్ వేర్ దే హ్యావ్ అ డిఫరెంట్ ఒపీనియన్, బట్ హియర్ ఎవ్రీబడి హ్యావ్ అ సిమిలర్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అన్ ఒపీనియన్. ప్రాబబ్లీ ఇక్కడక్కడ కొంచెం డిఫరెన్సెస్ ఉండొచ్చు, బట్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టైమ్స్ ఇట్ ఇస్ సేమ్. సో లైక్ ఇఫ్ వన్ సూపర్ పవర్ is what you've said, like inspiring people is one kind of a superpower. Administration perspective koste, what is a kind of thing that they will need to make sure?
I think administration lo heavy prioritization and heavy like understanding accountability and roles of each person in the team will be very important. We run to who needs to take what decisions, because somebody needs to own up to that decision, right?
Yes,
whether it's transport or whether it is accounts, or whether it is student who has misbehaved in the class, or whether it is some student who didn't learn properly. So understanding who needs to be accountable for what, and then heavily prioritizing, because issues అనేవి వస్తూ ఉంటాయి, like there's so many issues. What do you need to focus on then and there? So akkada I felt putting the child at the center will always help. So what will work best for the child at that instant? So probably heavily prioritizing will be a good superpower.
That is really good, sir. I mean, prioritization is one key factor for administrating better.
Correct.
Is what you mean.
Correct.
That's truly wonderful. Yeah, I mean, this is what I wanted to talk in specific about your journey and your school journey and everything. Now, this is something I have not said you, but I wanted to take it up as a surprise note. I wanted to have a kind of a rapid fire with you.
Oh, wow.
So, like, I'll come up with some points, and you can say what, I mean, మీరు అది వినగానే what is the one thing that comes up to your mind?
Understood.
Like, so, yeah, shall we start?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. What if I say parents?
Parents, the first teachers. They were my first teachers.
Homework?
Homework.
You can tell it in both perspectives, being a school leader and being a father.
No, homework when I was young was like, oh my god, I have to finish homework. Now I'm like, oh my god, half the kids didn't do homework.
Laurus?
Conceptual learning.
IIT?
Water cooler hostel conversations.
After being into 4 years of your IIT, that's what you have
మీరు ఫస్ట్ వచ్చి చెప్పమన్నారు కాబట్టి
I mean, that's where you're stuck, and that's true.
True.
Last bench legends.
Last bench legends. Oh, they are super contributors to the community.
Super good. What if you or somebody says surprise test?
Surprise test. Oh my god, that used to give me heart attacks in B school. Class 110 kaipote. That's when we would get announced that there's a surprise quiz at 1:30 or something. So quickly have lunch and go back and write. So I hated surprise quizzes completely. Yeah, I think I still hate surprise quizzes.
What if I say father?
Oh my dad. So he's again huge inspiration, highly courageous, highly disciplined, and a great person to learn from.
Super.
A great. I want to say co-founder. I'm not sure he is the founder, but yeah, a great person to work with also.
Okay, that's all from my side, sir. It's a really good sharing a stage with you, and this left me inspirational and thoughtful and very much impactful. There's so much learning from you that every parent, every student need to take away from this particular podcast as well. So, any final notes from your side would be cool.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Akash and Aditya, for shaping young kids in your own way, like with the help of schools like Laurus and multiple other schools that you're working with. I'm grateful to be a part of this journey, yeah, definitely. And ఇవాళ పాడ్కాస్ట్లో కూడా it helps us summarize, it helps us refresh our minds, it helps us go back to the roots and why we are what we are also kada. So it's been lovely talking to you. It didn't look like it's been so long, but definitely it's lovely talking to you. Maybe more such conversations in the future.
Yeah, of course, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much.